Tonight on Sports Desk, it's been an exciting week in Coral Gables.
Yeah, Erica, a clean sweep of the Fighting Irish, a whole new crop of football players, and one freshman who's taking the women's tennis team to new heights.
That's right. All that and more. Sports Desk starts right now.
I'm Ed Reed, and you're watching Sports Desk.
Hi, I'm Jim Kelly, former UM guy. You're watching Sports Desk.
What's up? I'm DJ Williams, and y'all watching Sports Desk.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first Sports Desk of 2019. Brendan, how does it feel to be behind the desk?
Erica, feels great. I'm excited to be here.
Me too. There's a lot to look forward to.
That's right. It was a jam-packed week for Hurricanes sports across the board, but even with National Signing Day and tonight's first pitch banquet for the baseball team, it was Canes Hoop who stole the show this week with a clean sweep over Notre Dame. Wednesday night at the Watsco Center, Canes and Fighting Irish squaring off in an ACC battle. We head to the first half early on. Canes down 11-2. Zach Johnson dumps one off for Ibuka Zundu, who throws it down with two hands to cut the lead to 7. Nice play right there by Johnson. Now it's Anthony Lawrence now, brings it into the paint, puts up the right-handed runner. That was no good, but Zundu's there once again with the putback to cut the lead down to 3. Moments later, Chris Lake goes into the middle of the paint, goes up, foul, and one! He draws the contact, has a chance at a three-point play. Now later on, he swings it over to Vasilovic. He's going to take the right wing 3 and make it to give the Canes their first lead of the evening, 16-15. End of the first half right now. Lawrence battles for the rebound, gets it. Nice pass off for Zundu, who throws it down with two hands as time expires. The Canes will be up 5 at the end of the first half. Now, defense turning into offense. Vasilovic gets the ball, finds Chris Likes in the front court, and he lays it into 2 to go up 20, and the Canes would hold on for a 62-47 win.
Win there, the men able to pull it off in the end, and the women's team also had quite the evening literally the next day against number 4 Notre Dame. Some of the leaders of the night right here. Beatrice Montpremier, incredible night for her with 18 points. And Taylor Mason, 13 points. Coach Katie Meyer taking notice, saying her performance gave Meyer confidence throughout the night. Also a big scorer, Amasa Hoff with 21 points. Canes finished the game 7-up on Notre Dame, and the students crowding the court. Definitely a huge win for women's basketball. All smiles there as this makes Miami only the second team to beat the defending national champ twice since the Fighting Irish joined the ACC. Our Hang Time crew is here to go into the wins in more depth. Guys, take it away.
Welcome back to Hurricane Hang Time. I'm your host, Cameron Dobbs, here with Eli Griswold and Tommy Sullivan. The Canes women's basketball team beat reigning national champion and 4th-ranked Notre Dame last night at home. Eli, how did they do it?
Yeah, definitely a really tough game for the Hurricanes. They really struggled all the way through to take control and really take control of that game. There were 14 lead changes, but the significant turning point was around midway through the third quarter when Taylor Mason, who finished the game with a career-high 13 points, hit a clutch three-pointer to put the Canes up for good. And then from there, Beatrice Montpremier and Amasa Hoff with strong performances as usual, both with double-doubles, and just a good performance all around from the Canes.
They take on Pitt this weekend on Sunday. What do they need to do to keep the momentum rolling and get another W?
Yeah, another tough season for Pitt. They're 0-10 so far in the ACC, dead last. So nothing's really going their way so far this year. They're averaging about 50 points in the last 5 games. The Hurricanes averaging 70. So it's gonna be an easy win for the Hurricanes. I'm predicting a blowout on Sunday.
And not only did the Canes women's basketball team beat Notre Dame this week, but so did the men. Tommy, what did they do to get their second ACC win of the season?
Yeah, it was a much-needed win for the Canes this year. They broke their 5-game losing streak, and what it can be accredited to was it was kind of a slow first half, very back and forth, but Ibuka Zundu had a huge dunk right as time expired to kind of give the Canes some momentum heading into the second half. DJ Vasilovic also had a great game for the Canes with 15 points and 10 rebounds. That was his first career double-double. Also, you're going to have to look at the Canes defense. They had an absolutely awesome day, holding Notre Dame to 32% shooting on the day, their best defensive performance since last season.
They take on UNC this weekend, a top 10 ranked team. What are the chances they can pull off the upset?
To be honest with you, I think the chances are going to be pretty low, but when we're looking at what the Canes can do to try and get this win, it's going to start with rebounding. When you look at rebounding, UNC out-rebounded Miami in the last game, 38-23, so Miami's really going to need to get on top of that. Luke May, a guy who seems like he's been at UNC for forever, is going to be a guy to look out for. He's a pain on the glass. Next, you're going to be looking at the Canes defense. How can they stop this UNC offense? UNC has 4 players that average scoring in double figures on the season. They have a really well-balanced offense. Look at guard Cameron Johnson for UNC. He's really good. Finally, you're going to have to look at the Canes offense on the year. They haven't scored over 70 points since the last time that they played UNC. This is a game where guard Chris Likes is going to need to step up big time.
That's all the time we have tonight for Hurricane Hang Time. Back to you at the desk.
February is Black History Month, and here at the U, the athletic community is celebrating in a few different ways. And along with new uniforms inspired by the Harlem Renaissance, UM Student Athletic Advisory Committee put together an event to spotlight Black athletes everywhere. Students and faculty got the chance to hear from guest speakers all the way from the University of Texas, as well as Athletic Director Blake James, shining a light on the issues and challenges Black athletes are facing.
While Hurricane football had a disappointing season on the gridiron, 6 Miami seniors have been invited to the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. Miami will be sending 5 players from the defensive side of the ball, including 3 defensive backs, Michael Jackson, Jaquan Johnson, and Sheldrick Redwine, who helped Miami to the #1 pass defense in the country. Also joining them are defensive lineman Joe Jackson and All-American Gerald Willis, who were big parts in the Hurricanes leading the nation in tackles for loss. The only offensive player heading to the draft is Travis Homer, who led the Canes backfield last season. The Combine is from February 26th through March 4th.
Wednesday marked the first National Signing Day under new head coach Manny Diaz. Since taking over in late December, Diaz has completely reinvented Miami's football program, and the strong work continued on Wednesday as Diaz secured his first recruiting class as head coach.
I'm not going to sit here and try and beat our chest and say, hey, you know, our class should be ranked here, or our class, because to be honest, when we kick off in August, nobody will care. It really doesn't matter. So we like what we have. Again, compared to where we were as a football team, kind of limping off the field at Yankee Stadium, I know this: we're a much better football team today than we were in December in Manhattan, in the Bronx.
Let's take a look at the Canes' newest class, often referred to as Surge 19, headlined by defensive back Christian Williams. 21 freshmen are set to join the program, and that's without even mentioning the transfers. Diaz dominated the transfer portal over the last month, securing 5 of the top 25 targets on the market.
Coming up, reporter Josh White is live outside of the First Pitch banquet and has a true batter's eye of Alex Terrell in the box. Stay tuned, you won't want to miss it.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
While pitchers and catchers will be reporting soon for the MLB, the unofficial start of Hurricanes baseball season is tonight. Current and former players are having a night to reflect on the past and look forward to the future of Canes baseball. The First Pitch banquet is happening right now, and now at the Watt, our very own Josh White is live. And Josh, I have a serious question for you. Are there Mark Light shakes at this event?
Erica, unfortunately, they don't have milkshakes tonight, but the festivities got started just moments ago with longtime public address announcer Jay Rokeach kicking things off. Former Hurricane and 10-year MLB veteran John Jay will be the keynote speaker for Gino DiMari's inaugural First Pitch banquet as head coach. Hundreds of alumni and fans are in attendance tonight to celebrate this year's squad. Speaking of those current Canes, I got a chance earlier this week to go in the cage with Miami first baseman Alex Terrell in this edition of Athlete of the Week. Welcome into this edition of Athlete of the Week. I'm Josh White alongside Hurricanes first baseman Alex Terrell. Alex, I want to talk about your freshman year and changes you've made into your sophomore year hitting at the plate. What's your approach at the plate when you go in, stepping into the batter's box?
My freshman year, I put a little bit too much pressure on myself, I felt like. So mentally, I've taken it more like laid back, just do what I know how to do standpoint so when I get in the box. And I've been working with Coach Lopez. My game stance, I kind of get a little bit too wide. And in practice, I'm more tall. I'm practicing one thing and doing another in the game, so it's obviously going to be a little bit different. And, I've been sticking with it, and it's been working, so I'm glad we did that.
So let's take a look at some of those changes. I'm going to put the ball on the tee right here for a second. And I want you to show the old stance when you're wide, and then like you're talking about the changes, and walk us through that.
All right, well, like in practice, I hit in my BP or soft toss, just kind of nice and tall, but then I would get into the games and I'd just be really wide, get kind of low, crouch down a little bit, so my eye levels would change a little bit. Everything was just kind of thrown off. I guess now I'm practicing and doing the same thing in the game, and it's just working out.
So you're talking about Coach Lopez and the changes you made with him. Are there any players you model your game after, maybe a left-handed bat like Bryce Harper or someone like that?
I don't really model my game after anybody. I just kind of do whatever makes me feel comfortable. Lopes pushes that too. He doesn't really want to change, hey, why don't you try hitting like so-and-so and so-and-so, just, what he thinks is going to work best for you, And, I appreciate that.
You talked about the changes. Now I want to see you swing, and I know you guys start one-handed and try and get loose. So walk me through just your drills in the cage and your approach to the plate.
Basically, what he's been pushing for us is to use our top hand so we can create that extension through the zone, just get us loose, and that's what he wants me to do. It just makes me feel comfortable.
When you're not spending time in here hitting balls off the screen or taking ground balls at first base, how are you spending your time?
I like to go fishing, when I have spare time. Now we're in season, so it's going to be kind of hard, but in the off season, I just like to go out on the boat. I enjoy the ocean.
Do you like eating the fish after
you
catch
them? 100%. It's just so much better when you actually go out there, catch it, and you get to eat it yourself.
Pre-game meal of fish almost, if you will. Then it coming into the cages. You want to try and walk me through? Let's see if I can now turn into a big-time hitter. Sure. All right, so I haven't had the same coaching, but I'm going to try this. So I'm going to line up here, step back.
Hey, don't look too bad from a starting point, all right? Just got to stay through it a little bit better,
Changes? What other changes do I got to make?
Maybe just stick your focus on hitting the ball to the right side of the cage. So right now you're just getting loose, All right, we're getting better.
I think this is the one. It's going to happen. Right side, approach that way.
All right, we got somewhere there.
Yeah, I got the ball instead of a ground ball to the left side. I think I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready for college pitching, but I'm almost there.
You're almost there. You're about close enough.
I might not be ready for the batting cage. I'm going to try my hand in pitching and toss this one over to Charlotte and Max with this edition of Inside Pitch.
Welcome to the first Inside Pitch of the season. I'm your host, Charlotte Payne, joined today with analyst Max Trink. Canes baseball is back, and the boys are going to be taking on Rutgers in their home opener next weekend at Mark Light. Now talk to me a little bit about Gino DiMare. It's his inaugural season as head coach. Do you see a national championship down the line for the Canes under that new leadership?
Down the line for sure, Charlotte, but let's get to the playoffs first. Miami has not made the playoffs in the last 2 years. They've had two excellent head coaches throughout their history when it comes down to Ron Frazier and Jim Morris, two of the best in all of the game. So Miami's going to see what Gino DiMare can do for them after a very long time of not making the playoffs, 2 years. That's unlike Miami for sure, but they need to get back to where they originally were.
And the Canes have a lot of new freshmen coming in with a lot of potential. How do you see those newcomers helping the team advance this season?
Well, there's really three guys when it comes down to it. Adrian Del Castillo, a big presence behind the plate, and the sweetest swing on the entire team. Miami's going to rely on him to bring that defensive specialist role behind the plate for the Hurricanes after they've struggled last 2 years when it comes down to that position. Then let's move it over to the mound. Let's talk about a guy, J.P. Gates. He's going to be the closer for Miami. They're really going to rely on him, a freshman taking over the closer spot. That's huge. He has a great command of his fastball and slider, and Miami's also going to use him as a hitter a little bit. Against FAU in the fall, he had an RBI double and pitched a couple innings, so Miami's going to need him to command the mound when it comes down to the end of the game. And when it comes down to the midweek, it's going to be Slade Ciccone. Big guy, 6'4" freshman, right-hander, has a lot of power in that arm, and he needs to just get the command down so the Canes can win during the midweek.
Not only are the Hurricanes excited to bring in those new freshmen, they're also excited to bring back that starting staff. How do you see that pitching rotation being beneficial for the Canes this spring?
Well, it's definitely a veteran staff for sure, but Miami's going to really rely on guys staying healthy. All three of the pitchers that it comes down to that's going to be in the rotation have suffered injuries. McKendry, McMahon, and Valise, all guys that pitched at a little bit temporary season, so Miami's going to really need that veteran staff to come back strong and be consistent throughout the year.
And I think Canes fans are excited to see what happens this spring as well. That's all the time we have for Inside Pitch. Thanks for joining us, and back to you guys.
Coming up next, the 5th annual celebrations of women's athletics brought girl power to the WA on Sunday. We've got the highlights next. But first, it's time for some trivia. Think back to Hurricanes baseball teams of the past and see if you know this one. First Pitch Banquet host John Jay played 3 seasons for Miami before being drafted in the 2nd round of the 2006 MLB draft. Who selected the outfielder? Was it A, the St. Louis Cardinals, B, the San Diego Padres, C, the Chicago Cubs, or D, the Arizona Diamondbacks? We'll have the answer next.
All right, so what did you guys think about SpongeBob in the halftime show?
Oh my gosh, I was so disappointed. I was really hoping for more SpongeBob.
Yeah, it went from sweet victory to sicko mode way too quickly.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely.
Not good.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back. If you guessed A, you are correct. The St. Louis Cardinals drafted Jay with the 74th pick in the 2006 MLB draft. He made his MLB debut for the Cardinals in 2010. It was a key piece of their 2011 World Series champion team.
Iowa City Hurricanes men's tennis defeated the University of Iowa Hawkeyes 5-1. And on the women's side, there's a new face that's already getting name recognition. Reporter Max Trink tells us about the fierce freshman and a new duo in Coral Gables.
The Hurricanes have a new addition that is already making headlines. Freshman Davinia A. Chung has only been in the program for about 3 weeks and has dominated on the court, receiving several accolades. And early on in her UM career, she feels that the rigor of the program is helping her succeed.
I think the intensity here is like in training, it's 100% or 200%. It's nothing less than 100.
But it's not just the intensity. A. Chung now has a doubles partner in Coral Gables, one of the best in the game, Estella Perez Somariba.
Her mentality is like crazy. It's so good. I mean, when I play doubles with her, it's always like fun and like tough. I mean, we are a good team together.
And Perez Somariba sees that her new partner in crime on the court has the same passion for the sport.
She's very straightforward, so when I play doubles with her, I feel that there are no emotions. We only talk about tennis and what we can do better as a team. Playing in tough moments, I can tell her whatever I feel, whatever I think is better. She's gonna take it so well, she's gonna implement it very quickly.
This pairing wasn't an accident. Head coach Paige Yarshuk-Tews put these two together because of their personality similarities.
And I think Stella's, super excited to have another teammate that's aligned with her. And I think Davinia is super excited to, be playing doubles with Stella and being able to learn from her in practices. I talked to Davinia about that a lot, that, don't just practice with Stella, but like learn, understand why she's as good as she is. And, that's what you're supposed to be doing when you're the younger kid on the team.
A. Chung is ready to continue her action at Miami as she rises in the ranks with Perez Somariba. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Maxwell Trink.
Speaking of success in UM women's athletics, last Sunday the university hosted a celebration of women's sports, honoring their current athletes and featuring panels with current coaches. Reporter Ellie Perigo has the details.
On Sunday, the University of Miami celebrated their female student athletes.
It brings me to tears to see this support here, so thank you so much for coming.
This is the 5th annual celebration of women's athletics, and it is held right here in the Fieldhouse.
recognized leadership and hard work, both athletically and academically.
Our female student athletes come in every day and they pour their heart and their soul into what they do. They're so successful athletically, they're so successful academically, they give so much to our community. And we just want to find an opportunity to celebrate the leadership that they have and what they do. And I think growing this event and having the opportunity to do that really just is special for our athletics department.
The fact that Miami takes the time and makes the effort to let these women know that what they're accomplishing is special and is worthy of recognition says a lot about the university and the values that we have here.
It's not just the athletes who are being recognized, but their overall support systems who have helped them reach their highest levels of success.
I could have never done it without my teammates and especially my coaches, so I'm very grateful for what they've done. And yes, I just love this and I want to keep it up.
This past Sunday had the most guests in history of this event, with over 330 guests in attendance.
Just being able to take something from one place and move it, and we're not where we want to be. I want to continue to grow it. I want it to be bigger. I want to celebrate our student athletes in the biggest form we possibly can. But I think if you take incremental steps every year, it's a great step in the right direction.
will hold this event again next spring. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Ellie Perigo.
And still to come, one Lakers player proves his worth while another is the subject of an interesting chant. We'll be right back.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
The NBA trade deadline is come and gone, meaning important pieces will be heading to playoff contenders. Our head-to-head crew discusses the moves made this past week and what is to come next offseason in this week's edition of Head-to-Head. Guys?
Hello and welcome to Head-to-Head, where we get heated about the hottest topics in the world of sports. I'm Justin Heyer, here with Skylar Sands, and today we're talking NBA. Skylar, the trade deadline has come and gone. Tell me what you think was the most impactful trade at this year's deadline.
Well, Justin, for me, it's easy. The Clippers sending Tobias Harris over to the Philadelphia 76ers. Tobias Harris is a proven scorer, a proven defender, and a proven rebounder who can play at the 3 or the 4, who will slot in real nice with Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid. The Sixers are now the team to beat in the East, and they will compete for the Warriors in this year's championship.
No, are you kidding me? Important trade, yes. Most impactful, no. It makes the Sixers more competitive this year. Maybe they can get to that championship and maybe, but probably not, beat the Warriors. For me, it's this Mavericks-Knicks trade. This trade sets up the future of the NBA, changes the landscape. You have Kristaps Porzingis and Luka Doncic on the same team. That's an all-star duo, and it frees the Knicks up with some cap space to make some moves in free agency, possibly get a Kevin Durant, maybe even also a Kyrie Irving.
All right, well, even though I disagree, let's move on to our next question. Superstar Anthony Davis. The Pelicans will now trade him this upcoming summer. Where's he going to go?
For me, it's the obvious answer. It's the one we knew all along. It's the Los Angeles Lakers. Listen, LeBron James is 34. He's not going to be playing at this level for long, and Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and Kyle Kuzma are not getting it done with him. But you know who has time to wait on their potential? It's the Pelicans. So they get to build their foundation while the Lakers get to have someone with LeBron to win a championship.
I disagree. The Pelicans don't want maybes. They want guarantees. They want 4 first-round picks, and who has those picks? The New York Knicks. And the Knicks still have the cap space to sign someone to sit next to Anthony Davis. That can be a superstar team.
Well, despite the fact that you're wrong, that's all the time we have on this week's Head-to-Head. Back to you guys.
And speaking of making moves in the NBA, the game has changed since LeBron made the decision, taking him from Cleveland to South Beach. This has caused players to focus on winning rather than sticking it out with one team. Reporter Alex Manella discusses the importance of loyalty in basketball in this week's Manilas Moment. Alex?
Remember a few years ago when Kobe Bryant played his last game with the Lakers? It's crazy to think he played his entire 20-year career with one team and always remained loyal to Los Angeles. That level of loyalty is all but gone in today's NBA, and it's becoming a huge problem. Look at the series of events that have transpired since LeBron felt that he needed to get out of Cleveland to win a championship. We've seen stars travel far and wide across the NBA to go to teams that they feel have a better chance at winning a championship than their current teams. Kevin Durant, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and more have moved on from the teams that drafted them. And look at the drama that's been unfolding before our eyes this week. Anthony Davis wants out of New Orleans, and teams are lining up to land the big man. And within hours of reports saying that he was unhappy in New York, Kristaps Porzingis was traded to the Dallas Mavericks. This is outrageous, it's ignorant, and it's plain wrong. How are struggling franchises supposed to rebuild if their cornerstone player gets up and leaves? Now, let's just say, for example, that Damian Lillard suddenly decides he doesn't like Portland anymore, and he wants to get up and leave. A team fighting for playoff position would find themselves in a downright scary situation, having to search for a trade partner who's willing to give up more than draft picks. Even if they make a decent trade, that team is never going to be the same again without their star. More and more teams are struggling with this reality, and it's making the process of rebuilding near impossible. Stars in the NBA need to stick to their teams through thick and thin. They need to take lessons from the likes of Kobe, from Dirk, Larry Bird, and others. Stick with the team that put their faith in you, and maybe one day a championship can be within reach. That's Manila's Moment.
For this week's play of the day, we travel to Boston, where the Celtics and Lakers squared off, and guard Rajon Rondo had a surprise to end the night for his former team. Let's take a look. 11 seconds left. Celtics up 128-127. Brandon Ingram has it in the front court, gets a screen. Now he's going to drive in on Al Horford, go up with the up and under. That was no good. Battle for the ball. It's tipped up in the air. It comes down to Rondo. Puts it up at the buzzer. Bang! Rajon Rondo with the game winner at the buzzer to stun his old team in the TD Garden crowd. 129-128 is your final as Rondo defeats his old team, and that is your play of the day.
With rumors swirling around the NBA, Pacers fans poked a little bit of fun at the Lakers and LeBron James on Tuesday night.
Of November, they won by 8. 12 of his game-high 38 in the final 5 minutes. Sabonis went off for 20 and 15 for Ingram.
Watch out, Ingram, and pretty much the rest of you if you play for the Lakers, because LeBron's gonna trade you, or at least that's what the Pacers fans think. Lakers taking a pretty bad L in Indiana, 136-94, and the trade deadline has passed for this season, but who knows, maybe LeBron will make it happen for next season. What do you think, Brendan?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's gonna be able to win this season. You think about it, when he came to Miami, he had to get Chris Bosh and D Wade, and then he also had to get Ray Allen to hit a big shot for him in Game 6. And then also, when he went back to Cleveland, he had to get Kyrie. He's not going to be able to win on his own. He's going to need another piece.
Well, maybe Anthony Davis could be that piece next season.
Maybe. We'll have to see. But right now, I don't think the Lakers are going anywhere at the moment.
Well, we'll have to see. Yes, that's it for now. We'll see you next week on SportsDesk. Guys, what do you think?
I mean,